It's morphin' time. Pterodactyl.
Hi there, this is Datila with 3 years of wrestling, meaning that it's Wrestling Time Post Show. And for tonight, I will be reviewing both AEW Rampage and Friday Night Smackdown. But let's kick things off with AEW Rampage. Alright, so AEW Rampage kicked off with the Owen Hart Foundation men's qualifier match. It was Darby Allin versus Swerve Strickland. Very good match, I'd have to say. Very, very good. I was pulling for either one to win. So I really like that stunt that Darby Allin did to Swerve on the outside. But then that suplex that Swerve did to Darby Allin on the outside, that was amazing. Now, I kind of thought that it was over then, but Ricky Starks came out and caused a distraction and allowed Darby Allin to be victorious. So now Swerve and Keith Lee have even more problems with Hobbs and Ricky Starks. But it was a great opening match. I have to say that for sure. And honestly, like, this was mentioned, but I definitely would like to see Jeff Hardy versus Darby Allin. That's like a dream match. Like, oh my God. I hope we get to see that somewhere at some point down the road because it would be an amazing match. I would say that for sure. All right. So then after that, we get a segment. You get a backstage segment with Shawn Spears, so teasing that Wardlow's opponent is 7 feet tall. Now, if you guys recall on Dynamite, we had MJF said, "You can't teach that," which a lot of people think refers to Big Cass, who now goes by W. Morrissey. Michael 101591 saying that match would happen with Jeff and Darby. We'd love to see that. Yeah, definitely. I'd love to see that match. So more teasing of W. Morrissey on Dynamite. I don't know if you guys watch Impact like I do, but W. Morrissey's having one hell of a run on Impact. So I'm actually pretty excited to see him in AEW Dynamite. I cannot wait to see how the match goes. I really hope he doesn't lose. But if he does lose, I hope it's like, I don't want to see screwy finish, but I hope it's a protected finish because I don't want to see W. Morrissey lose to Wardlow. Not saying that Wardlow is like a bad wrestler or anything. I like W. Morrissey. He won me over with his promo. W. Morrissey is the best. Yes, he is the best. He really is. And you can't teach that. Actually, you know what would be really, really cool? To be totally honest, you know what would be really, really cool? Would be if W. Morrissey like hits the BQE on Wardlow. I want to see the BQE on Wardlow. But we'll probably get the power bomb Tiffany though. What do you guys think? What do you guys want to see the BQE? I think so. Give me 1 second, you guys. But that should be a good match regardless, though. Should be good. Should be good. Let me see. It would be cool if Enzo came out with Morrissey on Wednesday. Enzo is not even with W. Morrissey on Impact. Brett saying, "You know that Morrissey's losing. Sorry, Impact girl." Oh, come on. Let me have that. Okay? I wouldn't mind Morrissey losing if Deanna wins. You can't have both Impact people lose. You just can't do that. Okay? Like, let me... The last time... Give me 1 second, you guys. LOL, Wardlow's winning. Yeah. Sorry about that, people. You see, jokes aside, Morrissey is gonna look great. He'll look great, and defeat really made Wardlow look menacing because of Morrissey and who he is. Morrissey will sadly job to Wardlow. Yeah, probably. That is... I've accepted that. He probably will job, but it's still gonna be a good match. Very good match. But then afterwards, we get the Chris Jericho awards himself Sports Entertainer of the Week, which I thought was so hilarious. And it's funny because the last time he did that, he awarded it to QT Marshall, who ended up losing his match when he was awarded. So that was hilarious. I wouldn't say job. Lose, but he won't job to Wardlow. You know what? We'll see how it plays out. We certainly will see how it plays out. I want to see W. Morrissey win just because I'm like W. Morrissey. But you know what? Like it's supposed to make Wardlow look good. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the match plays out, okay? We'll see how the match plays out. All right. So while Jericho is awarding himself Sports Entertainer of the Week, Santana comes out and beats him up, attacks him. And so next week, we're going to get Santana versus Jericho. All right. So then, after this, we got the trios match. It was a TBS champion, Jade Cargill, Kiera Hogan, and Red Velvet, the baddies, versus Willow Nightingale, Sky Blue, and Adora. So this was a pretty quick match, if you ask me. Not enough to showcase all the women, but I guess the whole point was just so that the baddies get showcased here. I have to say, I'm glad that they're finally doing something with Kiera Hogan, because ever since she left Impact for AEW, she's just been stuck on Dark and Elevation. So it seems like she got the Ethan Page treatment. She got put in a tag team. And it's funny that she left her tag team on Impact, Fire and Flava, and now she's in another team. But I guess it's better that she's in a team and on TV than being stuck on Dark and Elevation. So I'm curious to see where this goes. It seems to me like AEW is getting ready to introduce a trios title. You can't have too many trios and not have a title. So I guess we have to wait and see how that plays out. But I wonder if it's just going to be for the men or it might be for the women too. Then we have Keith Lee versus Colton Gunn, which was actually a really good match. I liked it. Of course, Keith Lee was victorious here. I mean, he pretty much pancaked Colton. Oh my God. So next, we got a very hilarious segment, Danhausen and a Hook segment. Chris Jericho will beat Santana. Let me see. Love Kiera Hogan. Yeah. It's kind of funny that both Ethan Page and Kiera Hogan left their respective tag teams on Impact. Now their respective tag team partners on Impact are champions. So, and they're not champions. So we had a very hilarious segment with Danhausen and Hook. Oh my God. I really thought this was such a hilarious segment. Brett saying, give me Hook housing. Let me see. AEW clickbait. That's what the whole Danhausen Hook match. But Hook housing. Brett said, I didn't know I wanted this so badly. Yeah, I didn't know I needed this either. I actually wanted this. I actually did want to see the match between them. I really did. But them being a tag team, because what ended up happening was you had Tony Nese. Okay, so let me rewind from the beginning. So Danhausen wanted to do it next week, but Hook was like, nah, it's not happening next week. And then Tony Nese and Mark Sterling attacked them. And Danhausen curses, I guess, Tony Nese. And it seems like we're getting Hook housing, which is not a team I knew I needed, but I'm down for that. Really, I can dig that. So I'm curious to see. We need Hook housing for his new gimmick. Oh, yeah. I think they'd make a really great team. Oh, so incredibly funny. And then in the main event, we get the Ring of Honor television title. It's Samoa Joe versus Trent Beretta. Dang, Samoa Joe dominated Trent Beretta at the very beginning. Michael 101591 saying, people saying send Hook. Now we'll be saying send Hook housing. Oh, yeah, definitely. I see that happening. All right. So, like I said, Samoa Joe dominated Trent at the very beginning of this match. Then Trent was able to hit Joe with a sliding knee strike and a tornado DDT. I like that Samoa Joe did the STF to Trent. And then, but in the end, Samoa Joe was victorious. And then Jay Lethal comes out with Sanham Singh. And like, give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Sorry about that. And or you had Orange Cassidy, like, he like stands to Sanham Singh, and it's just so hilarious. He's like doing his usual Orange Cassidy stuff. And then like Jay Lethal just like blaze him out of nowhere. Great Khali 2.0 making an appearance, says Michael 101591. Well, we don't know yet. He's Great Khali 2.0 yet. We have to see him in action. So we have to, let's just give him a chance. If he's terrible, then I guess he is Great Khali 2.0. But until he wrestles, I think we should wait. But yeah, that's pretty much how Rampage ends, with like this chaotic sight of them cleaning house, which great way to end Rampage. And Rampage was overall very good tonight. I liked it top to bottom. I'm not sure how I feel about the women's match, so I cannot give this a perfect 10. I cannot give it a Ty Dillinger. He is not Great Khali 2.0. That goes to almost. Yeah, that's true. Michael 101591 says Rampage is 7 out of 10. Yeah, definitely tonight was not a Ty Dillinger. It was not a perfect 10. Just because I feel like the women's match was kind of short. Granted, I know the point was to showcase the baddies as a trio, but we still should have gotten a little bit more. So for that, at least I give Rampage an 8 out of 10. At least for that women's match. Satan saying looked way better last week on Rampage. Oh, what the hell? Rampage when he wrecked house. Michael 101591 says agrees. Josh also gives a 7 out of 10 too. All right. Well, with that being said, that concludes Rampage. Now let's move on to everyone's favorite show of the evening, Friday Night Smackdown. Are you ready for a good time? As they say. Alrighty. So tonight's Smackdown was actually taped. It was taped last week. And it kicked off with the steel cage match. It was Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. I have to say, this was actually a decent match. I actually liked it. Thank goodness it was a clean finish. No, not SmackDown. No, I'm not. Okay, Brad. Well, thank you for expressing that. All right. So like I said, I'm happy that this match, are you ready for a snore time, says Michael 101. All right. I'm happy. Like I said, happy it was a clean finish and there was nothing like screwy about the steel cage match. A clean finish. Sami Zayn, of course, tried to run away, tried to escape the cage. Drew McIntyre pulled him back into the cage twice by the hair. Got suplex from the top of the cage to Sami Zayn on the floor. Was like, oh my god. And of course, Drew McIntyre was victorious. So said, oh, and Drew Gulak is additioning to be timekeeper now. So, like I said, happy, clean finish, nothing screwy. It's done. Then we get a Charlotte Flair segment, who basically says she doesn't get humiliated or embarrassed, and she's adored by everyone. She's gonna humiliate Ronda winning the Beat the Clock challenge. But more on that later. Only decent match on tonight's show. Yeah. All right, then we get a Happy Talk segment, basically with Happy Corbin saying that he basically made Madcap Moss and that he's going to destroy the Andre the Giant Battle Royal Memorial statue. Madcap Moss, of course, shows up, attacks Happy Corbin, and destroys the set and gets his statue back. So, it was an okay segment. I'm expecting Madcap Moss to go over Happy Corbin. At least that's what I think, but I don't know how they do things anymore. So I've said this before, Madcap Moss is not a bad wrestler. He's actually a really good wrestler, but that gimmick of his does him no favors whatsoever. So I hope he changes his gimmick now that he's split from Happy Corbin, because he's not funny. He's not funny. He tells terrible jokes. I don't know who told Madcap Moss that he was funny, but no, he's terrible. Then we get the Intercontinental title match as Ricochet versus Shanky. Shanky dominated Ricochet in this match. But then Jinder Mahal, of course, tried to trip Ricochet from the top rope. But Ricochet still managed to be victorious. I think fighting over the Andre the Giant trophy is ridiculous. Yeah, it is definitely ridiculous. And then at the end, something interesting happened. Like, Shanky I don't want to say he got into an altercation, but he did get into some type of argument with Jinder and just walked away. So maybe they're splitting them up. I don't know. I mean, look what they did with Veer. Homeboy split from them and it took him forever to debut on SmackDown. I mean, on Raw. Roderick Moss is good and so is Corbin, but WWE keeps giving them dumb gimmicks that don't get them over. That's true. Well, actually, that's not entirely true because remember Broke Baron? He got over with that. I actually miss Broke Baron, Corbin. Then we got the debut of Raquel Rodriguez versus Kat Cardoza. This was essentially a squash match. Although Kat Cardoza did attack Raquel before the start of the match, like Raquel dominated Kat, and of course she ended up winning. So great enhancement match by Raquel. But let's see how long they keep up the enhancement matches. It's typical WWE booking. Actually, it's typical wrestling booking that every time you have a strong, dominant person, you always put them in a squash match. And you do that for a while until you move on to the next thing. Let me see. I'm scared that WWE might make Jinder Mahal the new IC champion, and that would be horrifying in a rehash of 27 SmackDown when he was WWE champion. Oh, we don't need to remember that, Michael. That was the only one that worked for Corbin on the main roster. Yeah, that's true. And not to mention, he was King Corbin for like 2 years, too, I think. It's a good performance by Raquel Rodriguez. I'm curious to see where this goes, so looking forward to more from her. Then we were supposed to get a contract signing for the Unification match. Riddle saying that he can't tell the Usos apart. Randy saying that Jay is the right-hand man. And that Jimmy is a little word that rhymes with witch. And that leads to the Usos beating up on RK Bro. The Roman Reigns comes out. And like there's attacking them left and right. Drew McIntyre comes out to assist RK Bro. And then Heyman suggests a 6-man tag match. Tag team match, player holla, at WrestleMania Backlash. So they said to hell with the Unification match, and now we got a 6-man tag match. It's Drew McIntyre and RK Bro versus Roman Reigns and the Usos. So I don't know why. I mean, it's not even. They should put a stipulation: winner take all, or something. Let me see. Michael 101591 saying they made a big mistake of not doing the tag team unification match. Now you have a tag team division staying the same, so expect more RK Bro versus Street Profits matches. Yeah, exactly. It's like the tag team division. I can understand why they're unifying it because there's not enough tag teams. There's not. But now we have to sit through this. This is so dumb. It better be winner take all. They won't do it, but it should still be winner take all for the tag belts. Yeah, they definitely should be, but it's not going to happen. And this is so like last minute. Like it really is. Like, okay, you guys remember like a couple weeks ago, they did a whole angle with Nakamura after like Rick Boogs got injured. That didn't go anywhere. Like I would have thought it would be the Usos versus RK Bro, tag team unifications, and then Nakamura versus Roman Reigns for the undisputed title. But nope. Instead, they just threw all that out the window and gave us this 6-man tag. It won't be winner take all. Yeah, it definitely won't be. By doing this 6-man, WWE has lessened the stakes and excitement. Yeah, I could care less now. This is, in my honest opinion, this 6-man tag match is the tag match you have on the Go Home show to WrestleMania Backlash. Like, if they would have made Drew McIntyre Roman Reigns' opponent from the get-go, then we can have this random tag match on a random episode of SmackDown. And then at WrestleMania Backlash, you get Roman versus Drew McIntyre and the Usos versus RK Bro. But no, that's not going to happen now, is it? Did you stop bringing up tag teams? Yep, agree completely. Then we get a quick match between Shayna Baszler and Naomi. Completely quick match. I mean, I don't know what more to say. Really, I don't know what more to say that it was quick. Natty then attacked Naomi, and then she attacked Sasha Banks. Shayna tries to break Naomi's arm. That's it. Completely pointless. Then we got the Xavier Woods versus Ridge Holland. I'm not sure why they're still allowing Ridge Holland to wrestle on TV. The New Day say that Sheamus has been around. He's got the League of Nations, the Bar, the Fright Night, while the New Day has kept it together for 8 years. Let me see. Michael 101591 says, John Fest of a match. I hope Natalya and Shayna don't win the titles. They will definitely be boring champions. And actually, of all these teams, I actually really like the Bar. The League of Nations have potential, but of course, they didn't know what to do with the League of Nations. So that's on that. So Xavier wins his match. Sheamus gets mad, and then he gets a match with Kofi Kingston to show Ridge Holland how you do it. And he actually beats Kofi Kingston. And then Ridge Holland puts Xavier Woods through a table. And because of that, next week we're getting a tables match between Fight Night and the New Day. Yeah. Okay. Should be a fun match, hopefully. But we'll see. Then we get a Lacie Evans segment. I think they say this is chapter 4. They're definitely going to bring Lacie Evans back as a baby face because she keeps going into her background. Good promo on her part. I actually really dug it. I'm sure it's relatable to a lot of people. She's going to be the ultimate baby face. If she's not, it would be WWE's fault that she's not the ultimate baby face, but they definitely probably trying to make her that. And yeah, I definitely do see her getting cheered when she returns. When that may be, I don't know. Then we get 2 beat the clock challenges. First up, Ronda Rousey versus Shotzi. Shotzi quits at 1 minute and 41 seconds with the ankle lock. I don't know why she had to say I quit. I really don't. She could have just tapped. But way to make Shotzi say I quit. I guess that just goes to show how the company views Shotzi. They're doing this whole where's Butch game. I know where he is. He's waiting for his release. They're treating it like World's Wardo and where in the world is Carmen Sandiego, yeah? And then Shirley is up. And she's going to face Aliyah. She struggles to get Aliyah in the figure 8. But by the time she locks it in, the clock is expired. She gets mad. Aliyah taps out, but it doesn't really matter because the clock is over. So Ronda Rousey won the beat the clock challenge. Beat the boredom challenge matches. Yes. And then poor Charlotte attacks Drew Gulak, who was a timekeeper, because she blames him. And that is how SmackDown ends. So I'm going to say this. These beat the clock challenges were completely useless and pointless. What was the benefit of doing this? Like, seriously, what? You know how you do the beat the clock challenge? You do the beat the clock challenge, and whoever wins gets to pick the stipulation for the match. That's how you do the beat the clock challenge, but instead you have them do it on a random episode of SmackDown after the stipulation has been announced, and it's completely meaningless and pointless. You do this before you pick the stipulation, and whoever wins picks the stipulation. That's how you do the beat the clock challenge. At least that's how I would have booked it. But honestly, this was totally pointless. This should have opened SmackDown. If you would have had this open SmackDown and then have the steel cage at the end, it probably would have been a much stronger episode. But no, you have to give us this completely pointless beat the clock challenges. And then people wonder why SmackDown sucks. And this is why, because these matches were completely pointless. SmackDown is 1 out of 10, same old crap. Shotzi, Butch, Aliyah are all set for next releases, calling it now. Beat the clock challenge. Just do work. Look at Jericho versus Jungle Boy and AEW back in 2019. Yeah, I'm not saying that they don't work, Brett. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is these beat the clock challenges did not matter. They did not. Joe Shipley saying they aren't treating Drew Gulak well, getting attacked by women. Yeah, Michael 101591. I think they're starting this Drew versus Roman feud way too early. They should be saved for SummerSlam. Yeah, I agree. It should have been saved for SummerSlam, and then you do Nakamura or whoever at WrestleMania Backlash. But yeah, no, like this episode of SmackDown, I don't even know where to start. You know, I did like that. I did like the steel cage match. I like Raquel Rodriguez stuff. The Lacie Evans promo. Like 3 things on a 2-hour show. That's not good. I'm gonna have to give this a 5 out of 10. This was terrible. And next week is a go-home show to WrestleMania Backlash. You know they're going to screw up those go-home shows. Drew Gulak is fine being a comedy geek. He's like Brandon Cutler. I don't mind what they're doing with Gulak. Drew Gulak would be released. Wouldn't be the first time he gets released, that's for sure. But I honestly would not be surprised if Shotzi's on the chopping block next, honestly, after she was forced to say, I quit. But if I had to pick the show of the day, the show of the night, it's picking Rampage over SmackDown. And that's not me being biased towards AEW. It's just I felt like Rampage was a much stronger show. Hey, if you like SmackDown better than Rampage, good. You know, you're entitled to your opinion. But I just felt like Rampage was a much stronger show. Drew is doing good being a comedy geek. Yeah, he is. I'd give him that. But they better not screw up WrestleMania. They're going to screw up WrestleMania Backlash big time. They're going to screw it up. You can bet money on that. They're screwing it up. And the match I think they're going to screw up is that I Quit match. They're going to screw up that I Quit match completely. Really, they are. But with that being said, thank you guys all so much for watching and for your continuous support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell to get notified whenever I go live or release a new video. Let's see. Last minute comment. Michael 101591 saying WrestleMania Backlash equals rehash of WrestleMania matches. Yeah. But you know what? Just be thankful when I get in Roman versus Lesnar again. I'm sure that would have been a plan, and I'm sure that would have been in the cards. But all right, guys. So that's it for this show, and like I said, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on Monday after Monday Night Raw. Have a great night, you guys.